Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Chris Wine Africa here on the Indaba Africa channel. Part of the Indaba Broadcasting Network on today, the 1st of February, 2021. Now into month 15 or 16, depending on when you date this, the China virus, the Wuhan coronavirus, month 16 of this scamdemic to defraud the world, imprison us, and turn us all into serfs. And it's working. It's working each and every day, folks. Welcome back to the stream. Shortly, we will be joining by Cyril Ramaphosa. The President of the Republic of South Africa will be joining us for his fireside chat tonight during the Cyril Ramaphosa Comedy Hour. Now, it's not a lighthearted moment, folks. We will see what the President has to say about lockdown, about hotspots, about beaches, alcohol restrictions, COVID vaccinations, vaccine arriving today by plane. No small happenstance that the first batches of vaccine, which South Africa failed to produce, which it's begged the world for, which it's accused the world of being racist for not giving to it for free. The first batches of the vaccine arrived today by plane, have already landed OR Tambo. And now, as the criminal thugs and pilfers from the cadre ranks of the ANC get their hands into it and start selling it at exorbitant prices instead of distributing it fairly, logically, and appropriately, we shall see what happens with the COVID vaccination program in South Africa. A program that has no tracking system, no barcode scanning, no accountability, no measures put in place that the public is aware of to reassure the public that this won't be yet another effort for the ruling party's cadre to loot, pillage, and steal from the citizens of South Africa. Welcome, folks, to Chris White Africa. We're waiting for Cyril Ramaphosa to come on. I'm looking a little envious right now. I took a quick peek over to Ronaldo Ho's channel. He has about 2,000 people last time I checked, and we've got about 100. But the key difference between that channel and this one is if you want to chat during the stream, you'll actually be able to do that. You won't be able to do that in Ronaldo's chat because he'll probably get 15 or 20,000 people tuned in, if not more. And they will all be chatting, and the chat will be right off the screen. So if you want to be involved here in the chat, this is the place to come. We got an engaging audience. I comment throughout Ramaphosa's commentary. He fortunately does take long pauses in his sentences, which makes it possible to comment. Well, welcome, folks. Let's say who's in the chat. Any questions or thoughts about what's going to happen? Lots of predictions by prognosticators all over the place saying what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. What I will tell you will not happen today is the African National Congress will not take responsibility for their abject failure, both scientifically, politically, and economically when it came to the coronavirus. That's right, folks. They will not take it. Will pat himself on the back once again. Cyril Ramaphosa will pat himself on the back once again, telling us that the ANC's response has been so magnificent, fantastic. It's been so wonderful. They're just busy injuring their arms, patting themselves on the back, what responses they've had. But the reality is, folks, that it's been anything but. They've misled the public. They've lied to the public. They've imprisoned the public. They've criminalized public lawful behavior. They have alienated most South Africans, including their own voter base. And that is the South Africa we're talking about, folks. While 103 million people are confirmed to have had the COVID virus at one time or another, most of them long since recovered. The number in South Africa of COVID cases is well over 1 million now, and fatalities is well over 40,000. So let's get to South Africa. We'll talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, where is my search button here? There it is. Okay, that's what I want. I don't have to go too far because South Africa is 15th in the world, 1.5 million confirmed cases almost, with 44,000 plus fatalities attributed to COVID-19. Of course, we know we can't trust those figures because they lie to us. People dying in motorcycle accidents where they're beheaded are attributed as COVID deaths. Lee Roberts, he says, somehow you would think I have something better to do than watching a billionaire acting like he cares for the poor, their plight. Apparently not. Well, the difference here, Lee, is that we had a billionaire who did care for the poor and did care for the working class and worked really hard for them. And we love to listen to him. But the big tech titans censored him. The media have blacked him out. And his voice has gone silent on this side of the Atlantic. So that's the irony. Francesca Harbor, there you are. Why is the sound off? Sound should be fine. Sound should be fine. I don't know what's going on there. That's strange. That's strange. Oh, hey, I've got something for you guys. Let's see if we can get this to work real quick. You guys ready for this? In anticipation of Cyril coming on, listen to this really quickly. This is the logic of the ANC, but this is rather clever, actually. Let's do this. I'm going to play this for you guys. Here you go. Hang on. Here you go. Someone put this recently. Where's it at? There it is. Here you go. Listen to this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
All right, can you count higher than that?
I can count higher like this.
All right, you got to admit that's kind of funny. Freddie Borch just gave a super chat, 35 Rand. Thank you for that, Freddie. What is your super chat for? It just appears on me. Spot on about the ANC. Well, thank you very much. Robin Dandelion. Robin, good to see you again. Robin's been busy. Tonic 69 is back. Beaver's here. Janalda Rose, Teresa Bauman, Anna Marie Nell, Francesca Harbor. Synchronize, welcome to you. And then Robin's, you're always chatting there. Eric is here. Olaf is here. Olaf has put a lot of stuff in there. I have time to translate all that Afrikaans in my head. That'll take a lot of work. Clint McConnell said, I finally got a notification. Are you serious? Wow, that's interesting. Stronger Together. Good to see you again, Stronger Together. Barbara Schillinglaw, welcome. Good to see you again. Chris Wyatt, those racists of all colors that took back their power on the beach, it's all their fault. Yeah. Amy's here. Hello, Amy Justine Leroux. Pleasure to see you again. Amy was in the chat yesterday on Ronaldo's program. Anyway, welcome to you again. And let me catch up here. Vuta DeVos is here. Hey, Vuta, how you doing? Clint McConnell. Let me see what else we got here. Magda Spammer's back. Beth Frazier, Vutsarko. The rumor is that the lockdown will continue and that all restrictions will remain in place. That's one rumor, Vuta. Other rumors that they'll lift some of it. We'll see shortly. Raptor Man, White Dog. Isn't it? We have to listen to some privileged, uber privileged elite who had their wealth handed to them on a silver platter, didn't earn a penny of their wealth. They're going to dictate to you how your life is and how you get to do things. Isn't that pathetic? Governments work for us, not the other way around. They work in our interest, not against our interest, but it's backwards all over the world these days, including right here under Unity Joe. Johan Neft, welcome to you. Raptor Man, Robin. Looks like we got a few new faces that haven't been here recently. Esna Diesel's back again. Chris Falcon. Herman van Staden, welcome to you. Great to see you. Yeah, it's my second time on duty. This is my second stream. I'll have another, likely, for the Night Owls. We'll see. Jody Taylor. Vutra says, I did my own math, and if you subtract all the recoveries, deaths, and cases you store, there's about 130,000 people currently active cases of COVID-19 in South Africa. Yet you've destroyed the country and you've shut the entire economy down for 130,000 people. How many people currently walking around with active HIV? Herman van Staden has become a member. Whoa, Herman. There's a salute for you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Gideon Pretorius, welcome to you. You're here to listen to the Dudes Talk. Thank you for becoming a team member there, Herman. Brett says, did you hear that Table Mountain Cyril Robert got sentenced to life terms? No, I saw you did a video on it, but I was busy shoveling snow, so I couldn't watch it. Gert Mare is here. Welcome to you. Kasper Labaskakna, one of my favorite surnames, Labaskakna. Vernon Waits is here. I think he's going to take a vaccination so I look like Superman. Good evening, all. So Daddy Squirrel is going to reprimand the lockdown protesters. I'm sure he will. I expect to see that. Expect to hear him mention that. Dolf Jonker, that is a cool name, very Dutch name. Dolf Jonker. I love that name. Welcome, Dolph. You and Germ are going to have simultaneous live streams at 8 p.m. No, it's Germ, Joe Emilio. I saw that Willem Petzer was on with 300 people watching. Ronaldo's got his thousands of people he hoards on his stream. Everybody's up. Inquisitor, how's it going? Herman van Staden is a new member. Christo Sneeman, welcome to everyone. Cyril is pro-business. Huh? Oh, is he pro-business? No, he's not. He's pro-patronage and corruption and graft to ingratiate and protect certain segments of his friends and followers, but he's not pro-business. You can't even begin to say that. Vuta DeVos has become a team member, waiting for that to come up, and I'll give you a salute. Get ready for the screen capture there, Vuta. Martinus Brink is here. Welcome. There you go, Vuta. For those of you wondering what that's all about, here on Chris White Africa, I'm a retired U.S. Army colonel, retired a little over a year ago, 36 years of service, 36 and a half years of service. And a salute is a medieval tradition that's carried through to modern military in which you render a hand salute. Initially, it was to show that you had no weapon in your hand because most people are right-handed, so they would hold their hand up to show there's no weapon, no sword, saber, or dagger there, so that you can have a parley and discuss terms. And later, that became a sign of respect, and it morphed into this, into this, into this, into this. And in the U.S. military, we salute in a proper fashion like this, with the thumb tucked under those hands at an angle from the corner of the eyebrow, right there. That's not right. There we go. There you go. That's it right there. So it's canted slightly so you don't see the thumb. And as a sign of respect for those who have the resources and are willing to support the channel financially, I do that. Anytime somebody comes up as a subscriber during the stream, I'll wave and thank them for becoming a subscriber. But you get a salute when you become a paying member of the channel. Thank you for joining, Vuda. Appreciate that. By the way, if you're in South Africa and you want to become a paying member of Chris White Africa, it is only 10 Rand a month. That's right. We charge $2 a month. Well, YouTube does here in the U.S. for that level, but it's just 10 Rand. That's not $2, folks. $2 would be more like 30 Rand. So you get it for 1/3 the price. What a deal. Hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Matilda says, just checked out the snow video. You're as mad as hubby. Whole winter in shorts on the bike to work. Well, there you go, Matilda. I'm a Viking, and it comes through. People are like, where's your Viking? I'm like, right there. Right there. It's in the bloodline. It's in the DNA. It's right there. Vuda says, myself served for 12 and a half years, qualified combat medic. Well, Vuda, salute to you. Well done. Christo Snayman's asking a question. I didn't see it. Well, do a super chat and it'll jump out, Christo. I asked one question, is Cyril pro-business? I answered that question. Maybe I'm behind in the chat now because chat's slightly behind the view. Hey, this is a good audience. This is the largest audience we've had in a few weeks. So thanks, folks, for tuning in. We'll see how it goes with Ramaphosa. We are now, let's see, how far are we from this? We're waiting for him to come up. It is coming up on about 3 minutes, but he's probably not going to be there in 3 minutes. 2 minutes and 50 seconds is when Ramaphosa is supposed to be on, folks. Moira Janssen von Rensburg is back. Missed you, Moira. Where you been? Bob Z307 is here. Did I answer your question, Christo Snayman? I think I did. Retired Olympic beer drinker. Well, Chris Falcon, there's a lot of people out there with that title. So, I mean, that's not exactly impressive. Ronell says, I think the only reason he's speaking is because apparently the first... Exactly. That's what I mentioned a few moments ago, Ronell. You might have tuned in late. I said that the first doses, the first batch of vaccine has arrived in South Africa. It landed at OR Tambo a short while ago, and the media covered that. So that's probably the reason why Cyril's coming on. You're exactly right. Remind Chris if he is not on live chat. Remind me of what, Anna Marie? One thing I forgot to add is that Madiba appointed Joe Slovo to his housing department. Joe was white. Madiba got a lot of flack for that. Well, it's silly because Joe Slovo was a communist and he was an intelligence official, and so he was deep in with the ANC. So people that complain because he was appointed because he was white are just morons. That shows their racism, their bigotry. I think because he was a fellow traveler. It doesn't matter what his skin pigmentation was. He's no different than Mandela and all the leadership in the ANC. That's what he was, part and parcel, for decades. As high-profile targets in Iraq continue to get taken out, who's calling the shots? It's sure as heck not Biden. Maybe it's Kamala. Jason Reddick, back. Been 3 years and 3 months. Nice watching your channel again. 3 years and 3 months, what? Since you've been here? It's nice to catch you. Where have you been hiding out? Where are my original loyal subscribers been going to? A few people's feelings were hurt when they said things that were what I viewed offensive, and I deleted it, and then they took the toys and ran away. And okay, that's fine. That's your prerogative. No one's forcing you to watch the channel. But not everyone. That doesn't explain where some of these folks gone. I think maybe the holidays, people disappeared. They're busy. Charlene Hunt is back. Good to see you again. Francesca Harper says, I have a lot of respect for a man in uniform. Okay, we're waiting 55 seconds from Ramaphosa reportedly going live. It has not happened yet, folks. We're just waiting for it now. We will see what happens. Let me take a quick look and see who's also streaming, just to bring you up to date here. Cyril's going to lessen restrictions, I think, as people no longer listening. Yeah, well, we saw what happened on the beach there at Munzenberg. Nobody paying attention. Well, we see that Petza has also got a live stream going on, as does Joe Emilio. Ronaldo's got a live stream going on. And Morning Shot canceled stream. Oh, he didn't do it. That's okay. There you go. Right. Jürgen Hlasek is back. Good to see you again, Chris Falcon. A silver alert was sounded in D.C. An old gray-haired man is wandering around the Capitol mumbling. That might be Unity Joe. Be careful. Most people in general need to get a life. Most people get their feelings hurt too easily. I have been called all kinds of names in my life, and I'm still here. Let it go. Exactly. And especially you get treated very fairly in here. People do get treated fairly. I mean, even that jackass goat got treated fairly. Got 2 days to come in here and disrupt the chat before we exposed him once again for what he is. William Vandervalt was one of the first 100 subscribers. You were, William, but then you disappeared for 3 months. So what was that all about? Anyway, let me just check and make sure that Ramaphosa hasn't popped up on us. Nope, not yet. Still waiting. Ronaldo's got 6,400 people watching his stream right now. Wow, talk about envy. We are just approaching 300, but thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate the 300 here. 55 seconds in Africa is a long time. That's a long time with a nuclear weapon, too. Johan Eisel's here. Loyal supporters are here. Well, Johan, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. Anyway, folks, did you guys enjoy Sight Africa from Giselle? That was the start of the stream. We had Sight Africa from Giselle. That was pretty amazing. Waiting for Ramaphosa, folks. When Ramaphosa comes on, I'll play him live, and then I will pop up in the top of the screen offering commentary as he goes along. Afterwards, we'll offer a news, or not news, but analysis of what he had to say, and we'll see what happens. So what if I missed here? What are your predictions, says William? He's going to pat himself on the back for the great job the NC has done. He's going to admonish. Whoa, look at that super chat. Tonic69 with 1,400 Rand super chat. Whoa, blow me away. Wasn't expecting any super chats, as the man who wants to take all your money is appearing on the screen here shortly. Still waiting for him to load up. Thank you so much for that, Tonic69. It's very kind of you. It was a stripper chat, too. But I'm looking dead sexy in this polo. I'm not going to strip. Not going to strip. Heinrich Becker says, put on your safety goggles. No doubt. I think we all need to put on our safety goggles. No doubt about it. Thank you for the super chat. So Giselle's song, South Africa, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was at the beginning of the stream. It seemed appropriate since we're talking about South Africa, and we're going to have the president of South Africa come on. We use it as an anthem for South Africa. I need a surf. My mental health is taking a bit. Damien Bell. Well, I got you, man. I got you. Monique Devereaux's back. Hey, Monique. Lots of people in the chat tonight. Pleasure to have you guys here. Waiting for Cyril Ramaphosa to come on. My predictions are he's probably going to ease some restrictions, but we're all confused. Are we at level 3? Are we at level 5? Are we at level 2, level 1, level 0? How come you get some conditions from this level, some conditions? What's the point of even having levels when you mix and match like you're wearing Garanimals? Now, that's in reference that only certain people, certain age will remember. Garanimals. That was a clothing a brand that was here in the States when I was a kid, in which the clothes all had tags on them. You had a giraffe for shirts and giraffe for pants. That meant you had a matching set. But you couldn't match a leopard with an elephant because then you weren't matched up. So they were called Garanimals. They were really popular when I was a kid. I didn't have them, but they were popular. If the alcohol restrictions get lifted, I'll buy some wine. Yeah, if the alcohol restrictions get lifted, pay attention tomorrow, folks. There'll be long queues. Long queues, because people will expect it to come back at some point. Grab McTaggart's here. Do you think of your President Biden's environmental work to save the D.C. swamp? I like the clever play on that. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's an effort to save the D.C. swamp. That is what is going on with Joe Biden. All of his efforts are to ingratiate and entrench the D.C. swamp. He's trying to protect that environment right there for himself. Yep. So we are still waiting here. He is not up yet. I'm just looking. I don't think ENCA is even covering this. SABC is, and they don't have anything yet. So we're waiting for Ramaphosa. Yep. All right. So Lee Friend is here. Lee Friend Blingo, welcome to you. Esna Deisel, that's not his president guy. Triple face mask and butt plugs next. Well, you're going to need a butt plug so you don't have an anal invasion when they try to get a swab. That's right. Kobus Janssen from Lensbook says a loyal follower. You are indeed. Folks, we just jumped to 400 people here, and Ramaphosa's not here yet. So don't know what that's about, but thank you all for tuning in. These people have been subscribed to the channel in the past, or you just showing up for the first time? Thank you all. Charlene Hunt says, we love your commentary, Chris. Makes it worth watching. Oh, you mean for Ramaphosa? Well, then I need Ramaphosa to speak once a week so I can boost my subscriber base. Folks, if you're not a subscriber to Chris White Africa, why not become one? It only takes a moment. 11 people just left. I guess they left because they expected Ramaphosa to be here, but he's not here. Or they thought this was the SABC feed, 421. But the stats are all over the place. We're growing. Thanks a lot for tuning in, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in. So we've got some super chats. We've got a couple new members. Haven't seen any new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, I'm an American retired colonel from U.S. Army and a regional specialist for Africa. Served in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Nigeria, Mauritania, Uganda, and Ethiopia. I worked at the National Security Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, U.S. Africa Command, the Pentagon, as well as the U.S. Army War College, and served 3 tours in Germany, 1 tour in Italy, serving combat in the Balkans and Southwest Asia. Did a few things in Africa I can't really talk about. And there you go. So welcome to the channel. It's not just some oak sitting in his living room wearing a pair of shorts and eating Cheetos, sharing his opinions. Yeah, I'm sharing my opinions, but they're well-informed opinions. So welcome. Let's see if we've got Ramaphosa up yet. He is still not there. What is going on? Let's get going. Yeah, he's probably checking his notes, or they're propping him up, feeding him a little something to keep him going. Right. Okay. Like they say in Africa, you must experience patience because of reasons. Well said, Quentin Noggle. Quentin, you've been missing for a few days. Welcome back. Monique says the wind in Cape Town is blowing us away. Hopefully, listen, folks, what I do predict is this. This will come out of Cyril Ramaphosa's mouth. We have to be prepared. The next wave is coming. And that's the reason we implemented beach bans. We didn't want people to get the COVID because the next wave is coming onto the beaches. We will fight them on the beaches. We will fight them in the hills. We will never give up. We will never surrender. Jason Renicky says, Cyril's always late. That's true. Africa Times says, Peter Schun. Well, welcome to you again. Craig is here. Magda Spammer. Ideology of greatness. I like that username. Next wave of bullshit. Well, that's true. It's the next wave, ladies and gentlemen. It's the tsunami of cock. The tsunami of cock arriving today right from the mouth of the President of the Republic of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting for the tardy Cyril Ramaphosa to show up. Hopefully he'll get here soon, and then we'll be able to pop him on the screen. How are we doing on resources? Let me take a look and make sure I'm not maxing out. Okay, I need to get rid of a few things here because a few resources are looking a little dodgy. So I'm going to close a few things so that we don't lose any of our RAM and our hard drive and all that other stuff that Microsoft likes to steal from me. so we don't have any disruptions in the stream. Okay, well, that's a start, but we're not quite there. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Okay. All right, come on. Come on. Close. I said close, dang it. All right, let's do it this way. It's not going to cooperate. Wow, that is not closing. Interesting. Kasper Labaskaknis says mask wearing is at a low. Okay. There you go. Please give us back our beer. Yeah, people no doubt want their alcohol. Dion Burness, welcome to. Ryan van Halte, please give back our beer. Martinez Brink, my wife thinks your commentary on Squirrel's speeches is hilarious. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Hopefully more people find out about it. Anthony Pullen, not bad, Winston. Well, thank you very much. We'll fight them on the beaches. I love it. Winston was awesome. He was a rock. Tabo Prince, welcome, Tabo. Alcohol. Well, we expect that there will be some limitations lifted on alcohol. Maybe you'll be able to go to the package stores. But the place that needs the most relief is the restaurant industry, folks. The restaurant industry is collapsing. There will be no restaurants around you except for McDonald's, Steers, and Spur before it's all over. Maybe Wimpy will still survive. But your local restaurants, your high-quality, talented restaurants with great world-class meals are going to disappear like dust if they don't do something soon. And when I say soon, I'm not talking about in a month, in 2 months. I'm talking about today, this very day, this very week. We had Wendy Alberts from the Restaurant Association of South Africa on the stream, and she was very adamant about how serious the situation is for the restaurant industry. Unbelievable. Jaco Bester's back. If the alcohol ban is lifted to restock my bar and liquor store, not sure how I'll be able to do that. Now, I could be callous, folks. I mean, I could really be a turd, and I could sit here and pull out a beer because I can buy alcohol in Pennsylvania. Even with El Duce, Tom Wolf, our governor, controlling things here, I can still buy alcohol. So I could be kind of a little turd and do that, but I'm not going to do that. By the way, once again, since it's the only one that's shown up so far and it's still sitting up there, once again, let me thank Tonic69 for that massive super chat of 1,400 Rand. That is an awesome way to start February, my friend. Didn't have any super chats in the first stream. So you have the first super chat of February 2021 here on Chris White Africa. Well done. Well done, Tonic69. Ben Berger says, did you see Trump Jr. and Elon Musk are starting a social media platform to challenge Facebook? I did not. I did not. There are other options out there, one of which I've told you guys called Creado, but it's more than just a social media platform. It's also a movie publishing and television network. Quentin says, I'm watching videos but cannot make the live streams. Okay, cool. Thanks, Quentin. I appreciate the support. Okay, what else? Okay, I'm catching up here. Monty Pinar is here. Welcome to you. He's not South African president. He's the ANC president. Ooh, well said. Okay, and Mr. Doldewolf is back. Hank Klopper is here. And Cyril's not, folks. This is not clickbait. I didn't tease you, and I see people leaving. That's not my fault. Why are you leaving? Cyril will be here, but I have no control over his arrival. So we see that Cyril is not here, and we've lost a lot of viewers. But I have no control over his arrival. So we see that Cyril. What's going on there? And we've lost a lot of viewers. There we go. Oh, that was my volume came on. Well, shame on that. That was kind of weird.
Is the virtual whiteboard.
What is that? Now another video is playing. Hang on.
It's simple.
Okay.
Visual.
All right. Looks like Cyril's about ready to go on live, folks. Here he is. Here's Cyril Ramaphosa, folks. God bless it. Where's it at?
Mr. President, all healthcare workers in the public and private sectors will be prioritized for vaccination. Provincial health departments have submitted their distribution plans, and we have identified about 200 facilities throughout the country to which the vaccines can be distributed.
He's telling us about his fake plan.
Once we have completed the vaccination of health workers, we will move to phase 2 of the National Vaccine Strategy, which will include essential workers, people over 60 years, people with comorbidities, in other words, other health challenges, as well as those living in places such as nursing homes and hostels.
Blame SABC, not me.
In phase 3, we will extend the vaccination program to the rest of the adult population. I know that many of you will be asking yourselves all the important questions. How will you access the vaccine if you fall in the categories to which I have referred?
How much will you steal? That's the important question.
The Department of Health has developed an electronic vaccine data system to streamline the vaccine registration and rollout process.
When he went live. What the hell is that?
This will allow us to capture all relevant data which is associated with the administration of the vaccine. This system allows a person to make an appointment as soon as they qualify for a vaccination at the vaccine center closest to where they are. The system will record vaccinations as they are administered. As I said during my previous address, we are sourcing our vaccines from a number of suppliers. In addition to the 1 million...
Whoops. What happened there?
Covishield doses that was just
SABC,
received
not me.
today, we expect another 500,000 doses from the Serum Institute of India to arrive later in February. We have secured 12 million doses in total from the Global COVAX facility, which operates under the WHO,
And produces no vaccine.
which has indicated that it will release approximately 2 million doses by March. We have secured 9 million vaccine doses from Johnson & Johnson, commencing with delivery in the second quarter.
Dates, please.
Johnson & Johnson has contracted Aspen, one of our pharmaceutical companies here in South Africa, to
Generic
manufacture their vaccines at their manufacturing plant in Nelson Mandela Bay. In addition, Pfizer has committed 20 million vaccine doses, commencing with deliveries in the second quarter. We are in advanced negotiations with manufacturers to secure additional supplies. South Africa will also receive an allocation of vaccine doses through the African Union, which has been negotiating with manufacturers to secure vaccines for the entire continent on a pooled basis.
They have no
Through
vaccine.
the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team of the African Union, which is led by Mr. Strive Masiyiwa from Zimbabwe, on which our Health Minister, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, also sits, we have to date secured 1 billion vaccines for the entire continent.
Sounds like he's got the flu.
700 million of these will come through the Global COVAX facility, and 300 million have been facilitated by the African Vaccine Acquisition Task Team. We will be getting other vaccines that will be donated
Cyril
by
doesn't
various
sound
private
healthy.
sector companies to add to the vaccines that our continent needs. MTN, which is one of our companies that operates across a number of countries on the African continent, has made a donation of $25 million to procure 7 million vaccines, which will be made available to countries on the African continent within a matter of weeks. And it is from these that our immediate neighbors, who we are also concerned about, like Lesotho, Eswatini, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and Namibia, who are immediately around us, and to those countries many of our people travel to, and their people also come here. They will also benefit fairly soon from this facility, or from this donation. I would like to applaud MTN for this generous donation, and I call upon private sector companies to follow the example that has been set by MTN. A considerable amount of work has been done with the private sector, and I'm pleased that there is strong commitment to support every aspect of the national vaccine rollout effort. This includes funding when needed, logistics, distribution, and administration. This has manifested in tight
Gabriel, I'm
collaboration
with you.
between
Sounds like
the
he's got
public
COVID.
and the private sector through a range of work streams, meetings that have been meeting on a daily basis to achieve a successful rollout. We aim to secure enough doses to achieve herd immunity,
Which is what
also known
percentage?
as population immunity, which I prefer.
Dr. Fraud says it's 90%, not 60%.
This is when enough of the population is immune to the virus to provide indirect protection to those who are not immune. This should bring the spread of the virus under control. Our scientists estimate that we will likely reach herd immunity once around 67% of our people are immune.
Really?
This amounts, in our case, to around 40 million people in South Africa. We will leave no stone unturned in our efforts to make sure that enough vaccine doses are secured to reach population immunity in our country.
And what have you been doing since January
The
last year?
vaccines that we are procuring
You're waiting
have
now?
gone through meticulous multi-stage testing processes, including large trials involving thousands of people. In addition to determining their effectiveness,
It's a bit late, Cyril.
these trials are also designed
What
to
trials?
identify side effects and safety concerns.
So guinea pigs, after the vaccine's
Independent
fielded.
regulators then review the data from these trials to ensure that they are not harmful.
One side effect is the NVNC.
The vaccines that we are procuring have been shown to be safe in large clinical trials across multiple countries.
Then why do you need to test it on
We
people?
all want to be free of this disease.
We want to be free of the ANC.
We all
That's what
want
we
to be
want.
safe, and for those we love to also be safe. We aim to make the vaccine available to all adults living in South Africa, regardless of their citizenship or resident status.
Ooh, okay.
We will be putting in place measures to deal with the challenge of undocumented migrants in our country so that, as with
aliens.
all other people, we can properly record and track their vaccination history. It is in the best interests of all that as many of us receive the vaccine as possible. But
you're
I
gonna
want to be
test it now.
clear, nobody will be forced to take this vaccine.
Because you
I
can't
want to
legally do
repeat,
that.
nobody will be forced to take this vaccine. Nobody will be forbidden from traveling to wherever they want to travel to, including from enrolling at school or from taking part in any public activity if they have not been vaccinated.
Mark this date. Pay attention to what he just said.
Nobody will be given this vaccine against their will, nor will the vaccine be administered in secret or in some dark corners.
Yeah, right.
Any rumors to this effect are both false and dangerous, and we would like those who are spreading these rumors to stop.
1st of February. He said it.
Fellow South Africans,
Don't let him
the
off that.
first set of good news is the
It's
arrival
arrived.
of the vaccine
It's
today.
arrived. We didn't make
The
it.
second
We guilted
is
the
that
world.
we have recorded our lowest daily increase in infections since the beginning of December of last year. In fact, the average rate of new infections has been steadily coming down over the last 3 weeks,
Wow.
indicating that we have now passed the peak of the second wave. In the past 7 days, the daily average of new infections was around 5,500, compared to just over 10,000 infections in the previous 7 days.
Okay.
In other words, the average number of daily new infection has come down to almost half of what it was.
And in June, it was 300 a day.
The number of hospital admissions has also been falling. At the peak of the second wave, we recorded over 2,300 hospital admissions in a day. This has now fallen to 295 hospital admissions by the 29th of January. While all the indicators are heading in the right direction, we are still experiencing relatively high rates of transmission.
Yeah, Rene, record this.
We're pleased that across the country, most people are adhering to the restrictions we've had to impose and are diligently observing the basic health measures needed to prevent infection.
Most people
I want to thank the millions of South Africans
who follow our lockdown
who had
rules.
to endure restrictions on their movement
Yet
and
again.
activities so that infections could be
So the agency
contained
could steal in private.
and lives could be saved.
Mm.
You have understood that no walk on the beach, no picnic in the park, and no late party is worth the loss of life that has been prevented by these restrictions.
Mm.
While these restrictions are temporary, the loss of life is permanent.
So it's destruction of the economy.
Nevertheless, we know that the measures necessary to contain the spread of the virus have caused great hardship and difficulty for some people.
Has it? Really?
We are
you
acutely
aware of
aware that these restrictions have negatively affected businesses and threatened jobs in the hospitality, the tourism, and related industries. That is why we are determined that such restrictions should not continue any longer than is absolutely necessary to contain the pandemic, as well as to minimize the loss of life.
Can we visit all
It is
tourist
for this reason
destinations?
that we will continue to work with business and labor in these sectors
You're
to
not
revive
working with business,
businesses,
you're a liar.
to restore jobs both in the immediate and long term.
You're not talking the Restaurant Industry Association.
Over the last few days, we have assessed the state of the pandemic. We have sought the advice of our experts and consulted with representatives of the provincial, local governments, as well as our traditional leaders. With a clear decline in new infections, hospital admissions, and deaths, Cabinet has decided to steadily ease a number of restrictions under adjusted level 3.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here we go.
The first, the hours of the curfew will now be from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
But you still have a curfew.
Establishments where people go for either entertainment or otherwise will need to close by 10 p.m. so as to allow their customers and staff to return home by curfew time.
Which is what I told
commencing.
them the first time these morons imposed this. They didn't realize it.
The second, faith-based gatherings will now be permitted, subject to health protocols. Such gatherings may not exceed 50 people for indoor venues and 100 people for outdoor venues. Where the venue is too small to accommodate these numbers within appropriate social distancing,
Which is what?
then no more than 50% of the capacity of the venue may be used.
This hasn't worked
Thirdly,
before.
public places such as beaches,
COVID's
dams,
still here.
rivers, parks, and public swimming pools will be reopened subject to health protocols. Restrictions on the sale of alcohol will be eased.
Eased, not
The
removed.
sale of alcohol by licensed premises for off-site consumption will be permitted from Mondays to Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Duty-free shops, registered wineries, wine farms, microbreweries, and microdistilleries will be able to sell alcohol for off-site consumption during their normal licensed operating hours. The sale of alcohol by licensed premises for on-site consumption, such as restaurants and taverns and places like that, will be permitted throughout the week from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. These changes have been made possible by the significant reduction in COVID-19 hospital admissions across all provinces,
Bullshit.
reducing the pressure on beds and hospital personnel.
Birds? Birds? You mean
I want to
beds?
call on all of us to drink
Birds?
responsibly so that we do not experience a spike in trauma cases or an increase in infections due to reckless behavior. As we
EFF.
ease restrictions once again, the responsibility on each and every one of us as individuals becomes even much greater. Let us remember that despite the clear progress we have made, the number of new cases is still high, and there is an ever-present danger of a resurgence.
So why are you getting
It
restrictions?
is therefore necessary to maintain the country on coronavirus alert level 3, indicating the continued high risk of transmission. Several prevention measures will remain in place. Social gatherings, political events, traditional council meetings, and gatherings at sports grounds will not be permitted. This does not include religious gatherings and funerals and other limited exceptions as detailed in the regulations, such as restaurants, museums, and gyms. Funerals may not be attended by more than 50 people, and there needs to be social distancing, hand sanitizing, and mask wearing. It remains compulsory for every person in South Africa to wear.
To wear what? What the hell? Hello?
A mask in a public space. Even as we roll out the vaccination program throughout the year, and as we steadily work to reduce the number of new infections, we will need to continue to observe careful precautions to reduce transmission. This is particularly important as the new variant of the virus, 501Y V2, is now widespread across the country.
Yeah, and the world, thank you.
We know that it is more infectious than the earlier strain and is therefore far more likely to drive another resurgence of infections and increase the demand of our health facilities.
How more infectious?
We also know much more about the patterns of infection. If a member of a household has COVID-19,
yes,
and hygiene measures are not implemented or observed,
yes,
the chances are high that infection will spread to persons in the same household. We have seen this happening. Therefore, people who discover that they have been exposed to the virus or are COVID-19 positive, they should isolate themselves at home away from other members of the family or household. Or if this is not possible, they should go to a government quarantine facility.
and never come back
Being
alive.
in crowded
No thanks.
places or spending time in closed, unventilated spaces dramatically increases the risk of contracting the virus.
You'll be in the pub tomorrow.
For this reason, you must avoid indoor spaces
Ooh,
wherever possible and open windows to limit the spread of the virus through the air.
thank you, Herr Doctor.
Research has shown that the risk of transmission of the virus is almost 20 times higher indoors
Really?
than in outdoor settings. We continue to ask all South Africans to keep a safe distance of 1.5 meters from other people at all times.
Insufficient distance, 1.5 meters.
We
is not
urge
good.
employers to allow their employees to work from home wherever possible and not to risk transmission where it is not absolutely necessary to do so.
Really?
And remember,
Yes.
even if you do not have symptoms, you can still pass the virus to other people.
Of course you can.
So it is important that we continue wearing our masks
And being serfs?
and ensure that our masks cover our noses
Shut up
and
and
mouths
silence.
wherever and whenever we are in public
And suffer in
spaces.
silence.
If you must have interactions with friends and family, do so outside
Oh.
as much as you possibly can.
Okay. In a windy location?
Since the very first case of COVID-19 was discovered in our country,
Yes.
we have mobilized all of the resources
Here it comes.
at our disposal to protect the lives and livelihoods of all South Africans.
We've done so well.
We've been extremely fortunate
We
to
the ANC are
receive
amazing.
support from all over the world.
We, the ANC, have
This
set the
evening,
standard.
I wish to recognize in particular the selfless and unwavering assistance of the government and the people of Cuba.
Oh, Cuba!
True to its history, this small island nation has demonstrated solidarity with the hardest hit countries
You're
and
gonna
sent
prop up communists.
more than 3,700 Cuban medical people throughout the world to assist in the fight against COVID-19. In recognition of this effort, the South African cabinet has approved a proposal
Oh my God.
to nominate the Henry Reeve International Contingent of Doctors specialized in disaster situations and serious epidemics, or as they are commonly known, the Cuban Medical Brigade, for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. In Africa alone, the brigade had treated more than 38,000 people by the end of November of 2020.
Oh my God.
They are currently still active in many countries, including here in South
Could you go
Africa.
back to telling us lies about COVID, please?
We extend our sincerest gratitude
Oh,
to
piss
the
off,
people
Cuba.
of Cuba for this great demonstration of solidarity and
Oh my
humanity.
God.
Like so many people around the world, we have suffered tremendous loss and endured great sacrifices.
Oh my God.
Our lives have changed in profound ways.
Yes, you've destroyed them.
And we've been forced to adapt to a new and difficult circumstance. Now, thanks to the heroic efforts of our health workers, the tireless work of our scientists, the bravery of
What scientists? You
our
didn't develop
frontline
anything.
workers,
You
and
begged
the
for the
determination
vaccine.
of each and every South African, we can finally imagine a world where the virus has been brought under control. It is up to us to bring that world into being. It is up to us not to let down our guard and to prevent a third wave of infections.
Can we imagine a world without the ANC? I'd like that.
It is up to us to protect ourselves, our families, and our communities.
The next wave.
Fellow
on
South
beaches.
Africans, it is also up to us to get vaccinated as soon as we are eligible
Yes. Get
and stop the
vaccinated.
virus from spreading any further.
Get vaccinated.
Above all, it is up to all of us to keep the flame of hope alive,
Bring whoop
to
that
remain
drug.
determined
Tell him, Cyril.
in
Tell
our
him.
commitment to one another
Bring the whoop that
and to
drug.
our country. I am confident that together we will overcome
I'm not.
and we will recover
We won't.
and we will rebuild.
No way.
May God continue to bless South Africa
Oh, please. That we like.
and protect her people.
Oh, from the ANC.
Nkosi sikelela iAfrika. Morena boloka setjhaba sa heso. Hosi katekisa Afrika Dzonga.
He's reading that. He doesn't even know
Here,
it.
Sien South Africa.
Oh, my goodness.
Mudzimu patocheza Afrika Chipembe. Ndiyalibuwa. Nda. I thank you.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Cyril Ramaphosa. Oh, look at that. That's a good pattern right there. Let's get rid of that very quickly. Come on. Okay. Good Lord. That was pathetic, to say the least. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to... Wow, I got some serious lag there. You've been listening to, as I try to get my resources back here and my mind after listening to that. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we've nominated Cuba for the Nobel Medical Prize for their outstanding effort in shipping a couple dozen doctors to South Africa and getting paid R500 million to sit on their bums in hotels. They did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just like the Ebola crisis in 2013, 2014, they went to Conakry and sat in the hotels and did nothing and took all the credit. You people are suckers, the Nobel Committee, if you accept this application. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, that was somewhat fascinating, to say the least, was it not, ladies and gentlemen? Was that not fascinating? Was that not just knock your socks off impressive? Well done, Cyril. I'm so impressed. You've done an amazing job there. Did I not predict that they would pat themselves on the back? Exactly what they did. They patted themselves on the back, congratulated themselves. Yes, Brigade Conrad, 1984. The Henry Reeve contingent, or the Cuban Medical Brigade. Well, folks, as I did get a couple things right. I said he would take the opportunity to, number one, he didn't admonish the people on the beach. He did it in a backhanded way in which he said that those who followed the rules, thank you for that, the millions, which was a not so pointed, jab at those who were on the beach on Saturday and Sunday in Munzenberg, but and other things. So that's the first thing. The next thing to talk about, what is going on here? This is crazy what's going on over here. But just double checking to see what we got happening here on the stream. So that's where Cyril's coming from. The things I got correct were he was going to, of course, champion the fact that vaccines have arrived in South Africa, which they had nothing to do with producing or coming up with, but they're going to tell us about it nonetheless. That was the first thing. The second thing was that Ramaphosa was going to pat the ANC on the back for doing such a brilliant job saving us all from COVID. But now they're going to do the same thing they've done 3 previous times. They're going to ease restrictions, and they're going to let people go back to doing things. The virus won't be under control. It won't go away because it's here to stay. And then they're going to re-implement them and do more damage to the economy. Meantime, he lied. He lied. We heard Wendy Alberts here on this program on, was it Sunday? Which day was it? Saturday? Saturday. It was Saturday, I think. Wendy Alberts was on the program, the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the Restaurants Association of South Africa, RASA, who was on a channel saying the government's not talking to the Restaurant Association. Yet Ramaphosa lied. We're talking with business. No, you're not. One of the most critical sectors of the economy is about to sink completely, and you're doing nothing to do with it. Wow, what else did he have to say, folks? The wonderful advice from Dr. Ramaphosa there, telling us to drink responsibly. He didn't tell us tonight to wash our hands, so are we allowed to not wash our hands? I'm sure that washing your hands is still important. YouTube has put Chris on pause. What? On pause? No, that's not true. I can see that I'm there, guys. What are you talking about on pause? I just pulled it up here. Let me play it. He lied. He lied. We heard Wendy Alberts here on this program on, was it Sunday? Which day was it? Saturday. Wendy Alberts on the program, the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the Restaurants Association of South Africa, RASA, who was on a channel saying the government's not. That was live, folks. It's a delay, though, between you and I. YouTube puts a delay, so they're probably messing with the stream. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm moving, so I don't know what happened there. I'm not on pause. Yeah, refresh your stream, folks. That happens with these things going all over the place. Francesca Harvey's just giving a super chat. That's coming up. Awesome, Francesca. Let me take a look at that. You get the second super chat of the month in February because we had a salty crack first stream today. There is Francesca. Thank you so much for that. $25. Woo, love them American dollars, Francesca. Let's see what Cyril had to say. Cyril and the South African government determined that 67% of the population with immunity is herd immunity. I don't dispute that. That's actually a reasonable number when it comes to epidemiology, 67%. Of course, Dr. Fraud, Dr. Fauci here has changed his view on this repeatedly. Dr. Fraud told us it was 60%, then 70%. Then he was interviewed a couple weeks ago and he said, well, it's 80%. I'm not going to say it. I want to say 85 or 90, but I'm not going to say it. What a fraud that guy is. What a fraud he is. South Africa, at least, is being honest about that. Now, he said right here on his speech tonight, Cyril Ramaphosa said that no one will be forced to take the vaccination. Remember that. Mark those words. The date is the 1st of February. Easy date to remember. Cyril Ramaphosa came on television, told South Africa that no one will be forced to take the vaccine. Remember. He also said that there will be no travel or any other restrictions on people who refuse the vaccine. That was a very telling point. Let's hold him to his word. Let's hold the African National Congress to their word. Ramaphosa says no forced vaccinations, no restrictions on people who do not take the vaccine. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. Let's see what happens there. Anyway, so he claims that the daily infection rate has dropped precipitously, that it's down to just 5,500 new cases each and every day from 10,000. What they fail to tell you, and no one ever talks about, is who cares about how many cases come every day? It really isn't germane. It's how many people are sick. While those 10,000 cases were coming each day, there were thousands of people recovering and recuperating and healthy again. Why is it they're fixated on the total cumulative? Should we take the total cumulative budget deficit for the past 50 years and then say that's the deficit? Not if there was a surplus and it eliminated the deficit in between. It's ridiculous use of numbers. And a misrepresentation, there are about 130,000 people in South Africa currently suffering from COVID-19, according to those who've tested positive. There's many more people suffering from it, but they've not gone to hospital. They've not gone to a clinic. They've never been tested. They recover, boom, they move on. Some pass away, and they're never tested. So why do we keep talking about 1.4 million and 42,000 deaths? What's happening now is what matters as far as the pandemic. And he says that the number of daily new infections has dropped from 10,000 to 5,500. That's actually useful information. He claimed that hospital visits were down from 2,300 a day to just 295 a day. Yeah, people are afraid to go to the hospital because you don't clean it properly. So there you go. People who normally malinger or go to hospital for a hangnail aren't going to hospital anymore for a hangnail. Yeah. Anyway, there you go, folks. What else? Rama Pinocchio. Yeah. Yep. Must be very cold if Chris is frozen. It's a mom joke from Rosalind. Excellent. You were frozen, but it's fine now. Yeah, no, I saw that on my end too. That's why I played it here. So you should maybe open some of the notifications on your phone screens. Quit spying on me, Wesley. Why are you spying on me? Because I have all of those notifications up at the top. I only have 253 WhatsApp messages, 3 text messages, 59 LinkedIn messages, and I cleared earlier Telegram when I started this. So let's take a look at this. Telegram, let's see. Telegram, I have just 35 on Chris White Africa, 361 on Morning Shot, 23 on Naomi Siped. Yeah, so I've got a few here. Yeah, the Joe Show, even 16. Yeah, probably about 600 notifications on Telegram. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind. I'm busy providing content. Give me a break, brother. Give a brother a break. Anyway, Charlotte's Web. Ooh, Charlotte's Web. One of my favorite novels as a kid. That was awesome. Awesome Charlotte's Web. And I also liked the movie that was done. The animation was pretty cool. So we have Cuban doctors versus BLM for the Nobel Peace Prize versus Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, Aubrey Berkowitz, and David Friedman. All right. There you go. They know they cannot vaccinate 6% a year, so the excuse will be people don't want the vaccine. Exactly. You are correct. You are correct, Tian. That's the plan. Leon Pinar says, I see his vision, but don't understand his logic. Well, I don't see his vision. There's no vision there. If there were vision, Janssen van Rensburg needs to keep the fear so elections can get canceled. That's what they're going to try to do. They have no vision. If they had vision, they would have entered into agreements with major pharmaceutical companies, which were part of Operation Warp Speed, and those working alongside it here in the United States and the United Kingdom back in April of 2020. So they would have had nearly a year now, 9 months, to be part of a program to provide. He's like, we're going to work to procure. If you haven't already procured it, that's bullshit. You don't have it. You don't have the vaccinations. You only have a handful, and that's after begging, calling the West racist because you failed to plan. There is no vision in South Africa. There's no vision whatsoever. And if you're in private business, having a vision is a pipe dream anyway. Because what will the government do to undermine your business? Wealth tax, expropriation without compensation, racist legislation to force you to invest your equity to give it to someone based on their skin pigmentation. What will they come up with next? Difficult to have vision in South Africa when you deal with that business climate. But there's no vision from the government whatsoever. Their vision is simply to divide people. The Tourism Equity Fund. We will fund majority-owned black businesses in the tourism sector, even as we crush all the tour operators right now. We'll piss down another few billion rand, giving money to people with poor business plans based on the fact that they're young, they're female, and they're uneducated. Here you go. Here's 10 million rand. Have fun with it. Yeah, come back and tell us how it went. Yes, come on. That's not a vision. That's not a vision. The only vision they have is how they can steal more. It's pathetic. Leon Pinar says, I love Morning Shot. Okay. I love Jacques Cousteau. What the hell does that have to do with anything, Leon? What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? People go to the beach. We have the power to change everything. Daniel Fonzal. Ooh, Daniel's part of the rebellion. The rebels. The rebels. We must stamp them out. It's a trap. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Leon, what are you talking about? Why do you love Morning Shot? What's there? Where's that coming out of? Yeah. He didn't sound so good this morning either. Roman sounded a little scratchy this morning, a bit hoarse there. But definitely Cyril Ramaphosa did not sound like he was on top of his game. He sounded like he may have a little bit of the grippe there, a little bit of the flu, influenza, or maybe even COVID. Does Ramaphosa have COVID? Spread the word. Spread the rumor. Does Ramaphosa have COVID? Folks, I don't know what happened in that stream. We shot up to 440 some people, and then like 100 people just abandoned the chat, the program. Just because I think a lot of those people must have been people that don't know the channel who saw, oh, Ramaphosa's live. They're on the internet. So they clicked on it, like, oh, what the hell is this? And they left because he hadn't even come on yet. So interesting. So that's probably why they left. They probably mistakenly thought they were at the SABC or ENCA feed. Well, shame. Thank you all for hanging around. 191 likes, 232 people currently watching. We kept close to 250 to 300 for most of the comedy hour there from Cyril Ramaphosa, but he didn't quite give us a full hour. That was kind of disappointing. Grun Riesler says, virus mutate through those who take it and become immune to medicine, but blamed on those who refuse to take it. Trust the NC to thwart the New World Order plans. Karen Rodemeyer says, biggest laugh came from Ramaphosa complimenting Cuba's humanity. Communism is not a benefit to people. No, not even remotely. Ask at the kulaks in the Ukraine what they think of communism. Yvonne Deval says, is talking rubbish about the figures in the hospitals. Yeah, I think he is talking rubbish about the figures in the hospitals. I don't know where he gets it from. But let's go through some of the things he did have to say, folks. The level 3 lockdown continues. The prohibition on meetings, political meetings, continues. So you cannot meet for political purposes. Talk about repression. Wow. Funerals will be allowed, but no more than 50 guests. And mask wearing remains compulsory. Unconstitutional. It also remains unconstitutional and illegal, but it remains compulsory in effect. So you don't wear a mask in public venues at your own risk in South Africa, where the communists have violated the Constitution from 1996, which went into effect in 1997, written by themselves, yet they can't even follow it. So there you go, folks. Compulsory mask wearing is still the order of the day. Concerns about the new variant, which he called Alberto Fio 5, something like that. I don't know. Tresemme, it was something like that. And he's asked for people to voluntarily quarantine themselves if they're positive. Well, gee, thanks for that. Why didn't you say that March 27th of last year? He's also talking, it tells us that, thank you for the scientific facts, Cyril, that people are 20 times more likely to contract COVID in an enclosed space. Also recommended 1.5 meters of social distancing. Once again, I will tell you folks that 1.5 meters is ludicrous. Any public official that tells you 1.5 meters is sufficient to protect you from COVID-19 is talking out of their ass. Why? Because in Homo sapiens, a sneeze travels up to 24 feet or 6 meters, not 1.5 meters. A cough travels up to 15 feet or over 3 meters, over 4 meters. Oh, look at that, Cameron. Thank you for becoming a paid member there, Cameron. Really appreciate it. It's awesome. Yeah, so if a cough travels 15 feet and a sneeze travels 24 feet, why are we standing 6 feet apart? They're still recommending this idiocy. What kind of morons are they? And by the way, indoor venues, 50 people limitation, outdoor 100. Newlands holds 40,000, yet only 100 people can go there? What kind of moronic, nonsensical, idiotic, non-scientific bullshit is this? 100 people is a restriction. Talk about stupidity. There's no common sense here whatsoever. Venues like Ellis Park or Lions Park, whatever you want to call the damn thing, and Newlands or Kings Park should be allowed to have thousands of people in them. It can be done safely, even if you buy into the 1.5 meters, which is not going to help. You need more than that. Yes. Let's see. Wow. The Cuban medical team of 3,700 individuals just went around the world, and now the parliament is recommending them for the Nobel Medical Prize. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. For Nobel Prize. Yeah, the Cubans. Yeah, while they sat around and collected money and did nothing. This love affair with this is why he's not even legitimate. Anybody that's talking about nominating Cubans for the Peace Prize for this nonsense. Listen, the Cubans have done medical things in the past, have been amazing, especially in Africa. They've done some great work in Africa, but not for Ebola and not for this. These are false claims. They've done nothing. Where are the Cubans? Show me the Cubans in an interview on television, in a hospital, doing anything, anywhere in Africa during this crisis. Because if they were there, they'd be all over the media. They haven't been covered. When they went to Guinea in 2014 and did nothing but sit in the Mercure or the Novotel, sit in the Novotel the whole time. They were in the news all the time being interviewed. Oh, we're here, blah, 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 blah. They didn't do anything. Yet they got all the credit. All the credit. Did nothing. So if they're doing such wondrous things that they deserve the Nobel Prize, where the hell are they? Where are the medical research papers written in the past year by Cubans in Africa making a difference? Good Lord. Cyril Ramaphosa, you seriously need to get your head out of your ass. Good Lord. Unbelievable. If you want the Nobel Prize for medicine, give it to the people who put together Operation Warp Speed to come up with 7 months of vaccination. Now, I'm not promoting or dismissing a vaccination program. I'm just saying that's an incredible achievement. Unbelievable achievement. I don't see you nominating them while you call the West racist and demand you get free vaccinations. The West is hoarding vaccination. No. Western pharmaceutical companies who partner with others who participated in the studies, who provided volunteers, who did research, who tested things for them, who negotiated deals with them 9 months ago, 8 months ago, 7 months ago, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago, are providing vaccine to all those people. But dumbasses that sat on their ass in Pretoria and did nothing for a year except destroy their economy, pilfer money in the billions of rands from IMF loans, from the African Development Bank, from the New BRICS Bank, to sit around and call Western pharmaceutical and Western countries hoarders and racist because you're a lazy shit is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And to the fools who buy that nonsense, you're not very bright. If you believe what Ramaphosa tells you. Had the South African National Coronavirus Command Council focused on addressing the pandemic instead of destroying South Africa, then they would have had success. And addressing the pandemic 9 months ago would have been contacting public health officials in the World Health Organization, the CDC, the NIH, and other locations to find out who was working on this program. We have known since March of last year that this thing, Warp Speed, is around. The world has known. It's not a secret. Why didn't you reach out? Why weren't you part of it? Trump would have let you be part of it. He'd love to have a success in Africa he put on his resume. But you sat back and did nothing. Nothing. You're still doing nothing. We will secure. Will secure? It's too late, dingus. You should have secured a long time ago. Now you're at the back of the queue. Well, the COVAX program will get it. They have no vaccine. They don't make it. It's a multilateral body that promises to offer things to people and doesn't deliver. Good Lord. Oh, Laura Fry's here. Welcome, Laura. Francesca said, Ramaphosa said undocumented immigrants have to show documents. Yeah, that was funny. He did say that undocumented aliens would be, those are illegal aliens in South Africa, would be vaccinated if they like. But how are you supposed to do that if you have to provide documentation? How are you undocumented? Well, undocumented, he may have meant they're undocumented. They don't have a legal basis to be in South Africa, no visa, but they have, they have identification. That's undocumented doesn't mean you don't have identification. It means that you illegally, criminally entered a country. That's what it means. Or that DERCO has failed to do their job and register your arrival, which I've seen happen to people. And then they're deported as unwanted migrants on their way out the door. Yep. Heinz says, spot on. Trump will get no credit for Warp Speed. Of course not. He'll get all the criticism if, in fact, the vaccines turn out not to be effective or deadly or dangerous. They'll blame Trump, but he'll get no credit for the world actually having vaccine right now. The world would have no vaccine against COVID-19 were it not for Donald Trump. They'll never recognize that. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I believe the truth. And Heman Roos, whoa, Heman, super chat. I'm hot full of lockdown COVID. I would rather chase Uber drivers that rob copper trucks on a Sunday. At least we could chase them till 11 p.m. That's right. That's the other thing. So curfew is now eased. It's only from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. Yep, there you go, folks. There you go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Martinez Brink says, I know you were in the Army, but I don't know the Army saying, so I'm saying Semper Fi and have a great day. Well, thanks, Martinez. Was the stream interesting or informative? You got to go. Thanks a lot. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, Martinez, please become one. Become a subscriber, folks. It's easy to do. 209 likes. The audience is growing again. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, folks. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We're just running through what Cyril Ramaphosa had to share. Some of the more ludicrous things like nominating Cuban medical professionals for the Nobel Prize based on their contributions fighting COVID in Africa. What contributions? Where were they? Somebody here in South Africa, please, somebody in the audience, there's 257 people right now. One of you, please tell me, where did you see the Cubans? What did they do? Who did they treat? Please. Some of you in the healthcare profession, let me know where they were at. I mean, if they're there, I want to know about it. We've been asking for months. Laura, is Laura ill again? What's going on? You didn't get it again, did you, Laura? Peter Gerhard Russ says, well, unlike the USA, illegals in South Africa can't vote. Ooh, ouch, that stings, Peter. They couldn't vote here either, but with the illicit mail-in balloting scheme with 300 lawsuits to make it possible, that has become a reality in the past year. Shame. Brett's talking to Laura, and then Cuban doctors are an endangered species. They're a non-existent species, but they are getting money. They got 457 million rand for coming there. Yep. What's going on, Laura? Are you under the weather again? Oh, man, I would stay away from Laura. She sounds like she's getting sick a lot. What else? Vutsarko says, just the ANC speaking through their puppet. Indeed, indeed, indeed. It puts the Nobel Prize into perspective. Rosalind Gilbert, when Yasser Arafat was given the Nobel Peace Prize, that was the end of the Nobel Prize. That was the end. It couldn't take it seriously after that. Could not take it seriously. One could see the logic of F.W. de Klerk and Nelson Mandela being co-awardees. One could see the logic, although people disagree with it. But when Yasser Arafat was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, he's a terrorist. Well, he's not now. He's dead. He was a terrorist, and he was an unrepentant terrorist. And he used terror right up to his last 9 days to murder people to get his political goals achieved. So Leon Pinar says, even if the black population of South Africa doesn't trust the vaccine, then why should anyone else? I don't know. I can't speak to why people should or shouldn't trust it. What is going on with Laura? Okay. Incredible amount of pain. Dolores Bormeister said, 11 months and we are watching friends and family lose jobs, homes, and much more. It's an atrocity, and we need to boycott this communist plot, open up everything. There you go, Dolores. It is a plot. It is This is an atrocity. What the ANC's National Coronavirus Command Council and its leadership has done to South Africa is an atrocity. It's a political atrocity, and it should be called that. Well said. Well said. Well said. Oh, Eric has put the Telegram group up if anybody wants to join it. How's the Telegram group been doing, folks? Let's take a quick look at the Telegram group. And in the Telegram group, ladies and gentlemen, we have currently, let's take a look at this. Oh, where's my Telegram? It's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay. Where were you hiding at? We have 925 members, folks. Wow. Wow, look at that. 925, pushing our way to 1,000. Thank you for joining the group. The Telegram group, please feel free to join. It's absolutely free. You don't have to be a paying member of the channel to do it. You don't even have to be a subscriber. You can do it. So there you go. Cameron Haslip says, it's madness. My doctor had shingles, and a Cuban doctor gave him a cream that would spread the shingles like phrase. What? You don't take cream for shingles. What the hell is wrong with these people? Shingles is from the chickenpox virus. It's the same virus. It remains dormant in your body, and then when you get older, it tends to pop up. Although people in their 30s and 40s can get shingles, most people in their 70s or older who get shingles, it's incredibly painful. By the way, I've had the vaccination. People talk about vaccines. I've had the shingles vaccine. Guess what? After I had it at 50, I found out that they decided that it was not effective. So they came up with a new shingles vaccine, and then they deny it to me. Now I can't have it. Oh, my goodness. I remember having chickenpox, folks. When I had chickenpox, I was a little kid. I must have been about 7, 8 years old, and I was standing on top of the dining room coffee table as my father put calamine lotion on my body in the spots where the chickenpox was. And there was those Armour hot dogs commercials back then. And they talked about how kids love Armour hot dogs. Fat kids, skinny kids, even kids with chickenpox. Armour hot dogs. It's the dog kids love to eat. Fat kids, skinny kids, even kids with chickenpox. I was a skinny kid with chickenpox. I'll never forget that commercial as I was getting calamine lotion put on. Itching like a banshee. Ugh, chickenpox. Don't wish it on anybody. Yep. Francesca said, oh, I already said that. Okay. Let me catch up now. Oh, there's a super chat there. Did I miss one? Oh, Herman says, I'm hot full of lockdown. Oh, I already read that. Okay, good. Okay. Midnight 8761. Hi, guys. Missed half the speech from when will the restrictions be lifted? He didn't say that. That's one thing he didn't say. He didn't say effective now, tonight, but one would expect it's effective immediately. He didn't say. That's a good question. Good question there, Midnight. When I see Midnight 8761, it makes me think of either Midnight Oil the Band, or I think of Jenny, Jenny, who can I turn to? 8675309. That's what it makes me think of. Anyway, yes, Cuban doctors. Cuban doctors. It's insane. Was there a doctor attached? Marilyn Brogenshaw says, he said nothing about schools reopening. That's correct. No school reopening. Good point, Marilyn. Nothing about schools, and he didn't give the date when this was all in effect. That's a good point. We missed that. We got all excited about all this other stuff. Beaches are open again, though, whenever that's effective. So we'll see. He didn't look very good, did he? He looked very much under the weather, like he might have COVID at the start there. Laura's not sick. She pulled her back out. Sorry to hear that, Laura. Well, I can still visit you then if you pulled your back out. That's not contagious. Livingston Hospital would not see any patients. MF says maybe it's where the money disappeared to, the so-called Cuban doctors hired on somebody's expenses. Jan Kronya says, FW de Klerk, what a mess. Cubans were running the alcohol illicit trade. I don't know about that. That might be true. Binali Wasili says, it's God's grace. Well, Binali, welcome to you. CDC admits that they do not yet know whether the vaccine will prevent you from getting it or spreading it. Isn't that the definition of an experimental medical trial? It is. One that billions will participate in. Liam Pinar, the Vision for South Africa. It's almost like it's a competition to see how fast South Africa can become like Zimbabwe. Dolores Bormeister says, Isaiah 5:3, by his stripes I am healed. And then we've got Cameron Heslop says, Squirrel also said nothing about schools. Yeah, that was mentioned already previously. Thank you for that. Stan Martin says, Chris, what's the reason for the recent overt love affair of the ANC SACP? It's not recent, Stan. And it's not recently overt. It's been a long time. The problem is the ANC has no friends other than Beijing. And Beijing doesn't have time for South Africa. It gets what it needs from South Africa. It has the industrial parks with exclusive economic zones reserved for Chinese companies that are finding the time to build in those parks. It has power plants built entirely for its benefit, not for the population of South Africa. It has flooded South Africa's market with its cheap, piss-poor, poor-quality consumer goods while destroying South Africa's textile and shoe industry. It has taken over South Africa's steel industry. China has what it needs from South Africa. So when the ANC comes knocking, they have nothing to offer. And so they have very few friends. North Korea is still a pariah. Cuba's a pariah, but they don't care. It's always been a pariah. So they're happy to team up with Cuba. It's ridiculous. They've had this love affair forever. It's not recent. It's been around a long time. Thomas, the FN player, hello. And then who else we got here? Squirrel has been choking on too much dictatorship. Well, I think so. Did Chairman CR say anything important? He said that the lockdown curfew hours are eased now to 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. He also said that businesses must close by 10 so they can clean up and go home. This is what I said when they did it the first time. Curfew takes effect 11 o'clock and stores must close. Well, if you close 11 o'clock, you can't be home at 11 o'clock now, can you, dingus? They screwed that up the first time. They finally realized it. Curfew eased. Alcohol restrictions eased, so you can buy alcohol at package stores from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, back to that stupid system it was before. So tomorrow, the package stores will be clogged with long queues of people buying all the booze they can get their hands on. There'll be a surge, so watch for that. Also, the other things that they said as far as the lockdown is that they're going to ease at beaches and rivers, and things will be open once again. They didn't give a date. He didn't mention the issue of school reopening, and he didn't say what time this was effective. He also patted the ANC on the back for their fabulous, the three most ludicrous and hilarious things were patting themselves on the back for their great response, celebrating the arrival of a vaccine that should have been developed in South Africa instead of begging the world for it, with what once was a world-class medical system in South Africa. And the third thing was promoting Cuban doctors and nominating for the Nobel Peace Prize. Or Nobel Prize. Utter ridiculous. Bubblegum for souls. Send Trump to South Africa. Yeah, there you go. Who says we don't want him? No one says we don't want him. We were defrauded. Private school reopening today. Cool, Vernon. Okay. Thomas, the FN player. I want to go back to school. Been on holiday for too long. I go to good public school, but ANC closed it, which sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Thomas. What's FN? That's not football player, so what's FN player? Sorry to hear that. You shouldn't be denied the opportunity to go to school, Thomas. That's horrible. It's unfair. Look at that, folks. Let me just give a quick acknowledgement of that once again. I've had a few super chats, but Tonic69 gave a 1,400 Rand super chat right at the outset of the stream. Thank you, Tonic69, if you're still here. It was an amazing super chat. Getting my super chats off on this day to a decent level. We had none on the first stream, and now we've had some good super chats here, including that one. It's awesome to get us started today. It's the first day of the month, so awesome. Payday, so I guess some people have a little bit of spare cash. Thank you for that. Cameron says Beijing is going to be angry when South Africa can't pay back the money. No, they'll just take assets. They're happy with that. Maryland says experimental vaccine is why they must track and trace. Won't be seeing me. I got your logic there, Maryland. And then Bubblegum, you've already said send Trump there. We got it. Please stop pushing it in there. Booze and snooze. Yeah, people are going to chill. Experimental vaccine. Luckily here, they wouldn't be able to. Cuba must be storing illicit funds for the ANC. They may be. So let me ask this question, folks. It is now 2:05 or 9:05 in South Africa time. No, he did say about travel, Laura. But he didn't say any other country. That's the third point. Yeah, didn't address travel. That's actually good. I could do a video just on those things right there. The travel. He did say that he tried to dispel some rumors that the vaccinations will be mandatory, compulsory. They're not. He said, and they won't discriminate against people who don't vaccinate. White Diamond Child here. Come and change everything. Wednesday might be a busy day for purchasing booze. Oh, Sasa paid it. It'll be outrageous. Well, the lines for the grants will be long, and then that line will morph right into the package store lines. Yep. Fortnite, the video game. Thank you, Thomas. You're a Fortnite player. Awesome. You're a gamer. Well, my beast is on the way, folks. It isn't shipped yet, but it's being built. Should have been assembled by now. My massive machine with my top-of-the-line processor, my 32 gigs RAM, my 1 terabyte solid-state hard drive with 5 gigabytes of write speed, 4,400 of reads, or 5 gigabytes of read speed, 4,400 of write speed, a dedicated NVIDIA GeForce card with 8 gigabyte of RAM. Oh, I'm stoked. Can't wait for that. Homeschooling fixes the school problem. Home brewing fixes booze. Quitting fixes smoking. Well, Henrik Potgieter is spot on. Well said. Well said. Chad Blingnote says, I say let the NC give the Cuban doctors a nibble peace prize. Stop the farm murders, says Stephen Bota. Well, indeed. I haven't done any videos about farm murders this month, but they are still occurring, folks. We had several murders occur in December, unfortunately, in the holiday season. But it's not getting any press right now. So I have means to keep up on the farm murders. I will be talking about those, highlighting them again sometime soon. In January, I didn't really touch on it. Yep. But January was a tough month for this channel. Subscriber base didn't go anywhere. 234 people currently watching the stream. 232 likes. Don't make me do this. I'm gonna beg. I don't know why, because it really makes a difference here. But subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. That's the wrong color for that. And then I want to get, where's it at? Come on. Where's it at? Oh, I can't find it here. Come on. There it is. Hit the like button, folks. Hit the like button. Level 3, same standards. Okay, Malcolm Stark. Notice that the first round of vax is going to people who cost the government money. Exactly. That's a good point there. Anyway, so folks, let me ask this. Let me do a quick query here. All right, it is 2:07, 30 minutes out from when I normally do the Night Owls edition. Would you all like me to do a Night Owls edition, or shall I just continue this edition right here and not do another stream? You tell me. Hey, Tonic69, you're still here. I see the thumbs up. Thanks for that. Thank you for the super chat, and for the other super chats that came in. Please say hi to my mother, Marlene. I have her watching me. Well, hello, Marlene. Pleasure. Thank you for joining the channel. Are you... Oh, you're watching with Cameron. Well, that's awesome. Cameron, hello to your mom, Marlene. Pleasure. Thank you for watching Chris White Africa. I hope you find the content interesting and appealing, maybe even compelling. I am wearing rugby kit, although I dressed up a little bit for this, for the auspicious occasion of President Ramaphosa speaking. I wore a polo instead of a rugby jersey. This is a 2019 William Webb Ellis collection polo. Check it out, man. Nice. This is embroidered. This stuff is not printed on there. It's really good quality. That's a patch, really good quality patch. That's the Webb Ellis edition. It's one of my favorite polos right now. It was really pricey. I spent far too much money on it. Government schools will obviously open February 15th as per previously announced. Will they? Will they, Dietrich? They were supposed to open up in January as previously announced. Then they weren't. So we'll see. We will see. So anyway, back to this, folks. Shall I continue now, or should I stay in chat, says Herman von Staden. Okay, cool. I'll stick around a bit longer, and then I'll just finish the day early today, which is be good for me. I've already shoveled all the snow. I managed to get all the snow up because I shoveled last night, and then I was very fortunate. My neighbor, who's in the Army, still active duty, from up the street, used his snowblower to blow out my sidewalk, so I didn't have to clean the sidewalk. I just had to clean the driveway and the walk up to the house. And so it only took me about 40 minutes to get my snow shoveling done earlier. In case anybody's curious about snow, you can go watch my the snow stream from yesterday. Check it out. I did about 25 minutes before my battery. By the way, my phone lied to me. My battery wasn't at 15%. After walking and coming back, it was still at 20+%. I think the cold was messing with my phone and tricking it. So I didn't have to actually end that stream yesterday, but that 25 minutes was enough. Chad says, if you start a Twitch channel, I would pay to watch that. Santa Gaming. Yeah, that's a possibility. My new machine is a gaming machine. It is a beast, and that's what I'm going to call it, the beast. No, it's not 10 Talwera, but I'm calling my machine the beast. My beast machine will be on... Oh, everybody's dropping off when I mentioned that I might start. I was just carrying on with this stream, says Cameron. Yeah. Hi, Chris. Joe Clued is what? What? Joe Cloud is it when it's how cold is it? David Grobler, is that what? How cold is it when it's snowing? I think that's what you meant to say, David. How cold is it? Well, it's in the 20s here, which is well below zero in Fahrenheit or in Celsius. Current temperature is a little bit warmer than it was earlier. It was 25 this morning. Now it's 28. So 28 must be about -3 Celsius, something like that. Yep. Do you watch USA Rugby? Thomas, you must be new to the channel. Are you not a subscriber? Become a subscriber, please. Yes, I'm a massive rugby fan. I'm a Springbok fan first. I'm a USA Eagles fan. By the way, folks, Gary Gold, the USA Rugby head coach, will be on the program. We were looking to do it this week, but he's traveling. So right now the plan is for Gary to be on next week. So Gary will be on my program next week. I'll interview him. Of course, Gary Gold is a South African, and he is the head coach of USA Eagles Rugby, and it's a challenging time. It's been tough for the Eagles Rugby, so we don't know what we're going to get when they get back on the pitch. It's been such a long break. But Gary Gold is an amazing coach. Has had the most successful season ever, an undefeated test season for the U.S. a couple years ago. Never happened before. We thought that John Mitchell would be the great coach that made a big difference in the program. He made some incremental changes and improvements in the Eagles rugby, but Gary Gold made all the difference. Now, don't be distracted by the poor performance in the Rugby World Cup. The USA lost all 4 of its games, but they were incredibly competitive early on against England in the first 20 minutes. They were competitive against France for 60 minutes. The French fans were actually wetting their nappies, worried the Americans might actually beat them. I was at both of those games. And then we were winning against Tonga and should have won the game. We just had 2 breakdowns in which guys broke away and no one caught them for the tackle, and they scored 2 tries, which cost us the game. So you can't take the 0-4 performance in the Rugby World Cup in 2019 Japan as a statement on the quality of USA Rugby. We were ranked 12th before the World Cup, before that previous season. So USA was the top qualifier for North America, the first time that's happened as far as I can recall in memory. Canada usually gets it. Canada barely qualified. Canadian rugby program is in a lot of trouble. Ours is on the upswing. At least it was before COVID. Gary Gold will be my guest on here. Yes, I am a fan of the Eagles. I've been to every Rugby World Cup since 2011. New Zealand 2011, Paris in 2014 for the women, England for 17 matches in 2015. 2017 in Ireland for the Women's World Cup. I was there for the final and the semifinals and quarterfinals and some qualifying games. And then that's Ireland. And then 2018 in San Francisco for the Sevens World Cup and 2019 for Japan. 6 Rugby World Cups in 8 years, and I've been to all of them. Yeah, massive rugby fan. Been to Major League Rugby here in the States. Watched most of the teams play. Been to games in D.C., games in New York for Rugby United New York. I'm a massive fan for Rugby United New York, the only New York sports franchise that I support. So there you go. Do a Night Owls and send a notification out. The notification doesn't go out, Clinton. The only notification that goes out that I can send is, what happened there? Why did somebody get deleted? What? What's with the foul language? Why is Justin Craig Higgins using profanity on my channel and calling me names? What is your problem? You haven't been blocked, but you're going to get blocked if you keep your nonsense up. What the hell is that? It's not even the subject. We're not even talking about that. Anyway, it was awesome watching you trek through the snow in your shorts. Does the NCCCC have any hand in your PC shipping? No, my PC will be coming somewhere here in the U.S. My big concern with the PC was that the parts would be on hand. Folks, I ordered some pretty badass parts for this computer. This thing is pretty awesome. So I was concerned that it wouldn't get here. So let me just take a look at the status here, folks, and see what's going on with my computer. Yeah, I was worried that my beast machine wouldn't get here because the parts were coming from Asia and weren't around. But it turns out that, in fact, that the parts were on hand and they started on schedule. And they are building my computer now. Let me check on the status of it. I'm trying to do it right now. It was originally supposed to be shipped on February 8th, so a week from today. I don't know if that's still the date, but come on. Why is it taking forever to log in? It's taking a while to log in here. But there we go. Let me sign in. Oswaldo Marmon, good evening. Welcome, Oswaldo. Pleasure to have you join us. Thank you for coming here. Subuso Gumeda, good night. Are you leaving? Subiso Gumeda, are you leaving? You said hi, and then you say night? Dude, that was like 1 minute apart. Welcome. Were you here along, or did you just pop in and it wasn't what you expected? There's no reason to leave, Subiso. You're welcome to stay. Mark says, will Sleepy Joe ever mention or show interest in South African farm attacks as what Trump did? No, he never will. Trump really didn't do a whole lot. Let's be honest about it. He did something, but he didn't do a whole lot. So let's see. Let me check on the status of my computer. That's what I'm doing. Does the Army offer rugby or is it just football? Yes, Hendrik, we do have rugby. West Point, the academy, has a rugby program. It's pretty good. I know the USA rugby coach, or the West Point rugby coach, I should say. We do have rugby. They play every year in the CRC, the Collegiate Rugby Championship, in sevens over in Chester, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've gone to it several times. The Army's done pretty well. They've never won it, but they've done pretty well. Okay, let's check the order status here. All right, folks, come on. All right, assembly completed. Woo-hoo. Let me put that up. Yeah. So order submitted, components gathered, assembly completed. Now they're in the burn-in period testing it. Let me tell you what's on this computer for those who don't know. And if you're any computer geeks out here, whoops, let me hide that. Okay, whoops, I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's not going to work. It's going to show up on the screen no matter what I do there. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Cool, that'll do it. Okay. Okay, so let me see if this will work now. Anyway, hey, Miss Tukutela is back. Welcome to you. Let me get to this real quick and see if it works before I do it very quickly. Oh, it's going to work. It's going to work. Cool. Right. There you go. Okay. So I got to turn myself off to do this. Okay, so that's my machine there. It is Asus Prime Z490P motherboard with multiple ports, 32 gig of RAM, DDR4 3000 module, NVIDIA GeForce 3060 Ti 8 gigabyte video card, and then 850 watt power supply, liquid cooling system, 1 terabyte Seagate Fire CUDA SSD solid state drive, 5 gigabytes read, 4.4 gigabytes write, a secondary 2 terabyte hard drive, premium sound onboard LAN gig card, Windows 10. There you go. Game bundle, the Q3 Galactic Gaming Bundle. There you go. So pretty cool stuff. Anyway, there you go, folks. It's buffering. Why is it buffering? I don't get that. I see that buffering going on here too. That's really weird. Very strange. It's nothing to do with my specs because my stuff is fine. I'm just checking. Interesting. 259. We dropped down to 160 people. Wow, what's going on? Why is everybody going? I guess they all want to hear Ramaphosa. Beaver's out here. Good night, Beaver. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock in South Africa. What are you guys, 12 years old? Everybody's going to bed? Maybe you're farmers. Is everybody a farmer? Okay, I need to wash dishes and make sandwiches for your son's lunch tomorrow. Okay, we'll take care of Miss Tukatela. My PC died. I'm on my laptop, my brother. I can't even play Call of Duty on it and got my vac burn uncountable. Sorry to hear that. Snow making butternut soup. Chris, just take a break and start a new stream. Then you can rename the new stream. I might, oh my goodness, this stream is just acting up. I might just do that. I might reboot my computer and see if I go live for a little bit. Let's see if anybody turns up if I do that. Yeah, so we're down to 153 people currently watching, 259 likes. Thank you for that. This one's acting really weird, this stream. So we've been on for an hour and 36 minutes. That's what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to call it. There's 150 of you here, and let's see how many people show up when I resume Night Owls. The only notifications you'll get for Night Owls will be by checking my channel, by looking in WhatsApp, and by looking in Telegram. But other than that, it's not going to be a notification. You won't get a notification from YouTube because it'll be less than 30 minutes. I'm going to hang up now, and I'm going to restart the program shortly after I sort out what's going on with this stream. Anyway, folks, thanks a lot. Yeah, the buffering. So I'm going to end it here. And let's see how many of the 150 people are here now turn back up. Let's hope it's more than 30 or 40. Make it worth